Hi there digital makers, and welcome to this week's Digital Making at Home from the Raspberry Pi Foundation. My name's Mark, and I'm afraid I'm all on my own today because all the kids have gone back to school. So normally I get joined by my son Jimmy or my nephew Noah, and they're at school, so they're unable to help out today, so you're just going to have to put up with me for today's code along video. We're going to continue with the theme of look after yourself. It's been an ongoing theme so far this month, and please do check out the live stream on Wednesday at 5:30 British Standard Time, where Mr. C will take you through the last project in this series. Today we're going to look at a project called Relax and Stretch, and it's a scratch project that's going to take you through some breathing and stretching exercises so that you can chill out, relax, sit down, and just get all those kinks and knots out of your muscles and your bones and focus on your breathing. Okay, let's get started. So I'm just going to share my screen with you here, and I have the project up on our website. You can reach us yourself by going to rpf.io/dm-relax-stretch. And that will take you to our project with all the instructions there, and you're more than happy for you to just work through the project in your own time if you don't want to code along with me in this video. But the first step here, where we prepare your character, has a short link to the starter project in Scratch. So that's a project that already has the sprites already loaded, and we just need to start adding code. So let's get started. I've got that tab already loaded up here. So I've got my project here, and we've got my Nadia sprite, and then we've got these up and down arrow sprites. Let's go have a look at costumes, Nadia's costumes. So if we look at her costumes here, we can see she's got lots and lots of different costumes. We've got her at rest, we've got her breathing in, turning her head to the left and the right, arms up. So we've got all these different costumes for the Nadia sprite that we are going to use in our project. So the first thing we're going to do is on the code tab, I'm just going to make sure I set her position correctly. So I'm going to go to control. No, I'm not. I'm going to go to events, and I'm going to take that when green flag clicked block there. Okay. So I've got my when green flag clicked block. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set Nadia's position. So if I just go to motion, and then I can say go to X70, Y -25. That's the default position, that's where she starts. And the reason we do that is because it's quite often you might accidentally click and drag a sprite somewhere else on the screen, and I'd want to make sure she goes back to that same position every time I click the green flag. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure she's starting in her beginning costume, okay, which is the current costume she's got at the moment. That's that at rest costume, that one right at the top. So let's just make sure we go to looks, and then we want set costume, switch costume to, and then we'll go for at rest. And again, that makes sure that even if I've clicked over here and I've changed the costume that she's got, when I click the green flag, she's going to go back to that at rest costume. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have Nadia do some breathing exercises with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place in a little weight to start off with. So let's go to control and just have a little weight to begin with. So we'll just wait for 2 seconds. And then I'm going to take a repeat block. Okay, so let's go take this repeat 10 times. Click that underneath. And now what I want Nadia to do is I want her to change between her breathing in costume, which is breathe in, and her breathing out costume, or is it just back to her at rest costume. So we'll have her breathing in and then out, and then breathing in and then out. Okay, so let's get that sorted. So within that repeat block, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the costume. So let's go to switch costume to, and then breathe in, and then I'll switch it back to breathe, switch it back to at rest. Now at the moment, if I do this and click the green flag, we don't actually see anything happening particularly to Nadia, okay? And that's because these repeat block, this happens so quickly, the switching between the costumes, so we're not actually going to get to see anything happening. So let's get her to say something in between. Let's get her to say looks, and then we'll go take the say hello, and I'll get another one of those. Let's say hello block there. And then I'm going to say, let's get her to say breathe in, and then we'll get her to say breathe out, and we'll do it for 2 seconds. Breathe in, and then breathe out. It helps if I spell breathe correctly rather than breath. Breathe in and breathe out. So let's see what happens there. Okay, so I'm going to click this green flag. And we should wait for the 2 seconds, and then we've got Nadia doing our breathe in and our breathe out. Okay, so what's next? So we've got Nadia breathing in and breathing out. What we might want to do is we might want a way of changing these repetitions. So at the moment, it's just going to happen 10 times no matter what. Okay, so she's going to breathe in 10 times and breathe out 10 times. So we might want to change this number of repetitions. So to do that, I'm going to get a variable. Okay, and we've got one already made here in the starter project. So I've got this repetitions variable, and I'm just going to take that repetitions variable and I'm going to place it in that repeat. Okay, now at the moment repetitions isn't set to anything. I can change that over here. I can do set repetitions. So I could set repetitions to 5 there, and then click that block to make that happen. Okay, and then click my green flag, and then she should do this 5 times. All right, let's have a look at that repetitions. Let's make sure we can see that, see what it's set to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little tick next to repetitions, this little checkbox there, and then I've got this variable seen on the screen, and I'm just going to place that down in between those 2 arrows there. And then what we're going to use is those arrows, we're going to use them, okay, to change what the number of repetitions are. So what I'm going to do, I can go in here, I'm going to go, when clicked, that's just to set its position. What I'm going to have is when this sprite clicked. So I'm going to go over to events and get when this sprite clicked. Okay, and then I'm going to say which one am I? We're on the up. So on the up one, we want to change repetitions by 1. Okay, and then on the down one, okay, we can get the same thing, but we're going to change repetitions by -1, so we're going to decrease repetitions. So let's just drag that over here till we get the little wiggle on the sprite, and then on that sprite I can change repetitions by -1. And now what we can do is we can click our green flag, and by clicking these buttons here I can increase my repetitions, or I can decrease my repetitions. There we go. Okay, so we can go down to 0. I can even go into negative repetitions, okay, which isn't very helpful. So we want to avoid that, how many repetitions there are. We want to avoid that going below 1, because we don't want 0 repetitions. And we probably want to max it out at some point. So let's just say 5 repetitions is the maximum we're going to go for. So how do we do that? Well, I can use conditional selection to do that. So I'm going to go back over to my up sprite. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into control, and I'm just going to grab an if-else block. Okay, so I'm going to grab this if-else block here. And what I'm going to say in this is that if, and then in here I'm going to put an operator. So if I want the less than operator, if repetitions is less than 5, then change the repetitions by 1. Okay, so let's just see what that does. So I've got repetitions at -1 at the moment. I'm just going to increase it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then try again. And I can't increase the repetitions anymore above that 5. Let's give a little message to the user to say why they can't do that. So what we'll do is we'll just say here maximum repetitions is 5. There we go. So let's click on this green flag. We'll wait our 2 seconds for it to start, and then if I go above, it won't let me. And I want to do a similar thing on this down one. So again, I'm going to get an if else. Place that there. And then we're going to say if the repetitions is greater than 1. If repetitions is greater than 1, then change repetitions by -1, and we'll just have a little message again in here, say you must have at least one. Let's say that you must have at least one repetition. Oh, my spelling's bad. Repetition. Okay then, so let's have a look at that. Click the green flag again, and I can drop my repetitions, but as soon as I get to 1, you must have at least 1 repetition. So that's good, that's working. So we've got our code for our buttons working nicely. So at the moment what we've got is a breathing exercise. We've got Nadia doing this breathe in and breathe out, but it would be nice if we had a few more things thrown in here as well. So let's have a look at what else we can do. So we could get her to do some head rolling exercises, yeah. So like roll. So at the moment it's just repetitions on breathing. We can also have some head rolling. Okay, so where should we put that? Let's do the head rolling after the breathing exercises, shall we? So again, I'm going to get a repeat. That's in there, and we'll just put repetitions in again. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get her to switch costumes between where her head's moving, so she can do like the head rolling exercises. This will my neck's cracking just doing that. Okay, so she can do head rolling exercises. All right, so let's start off by going to our switch costumes. And yeah, let's go to switch costumes. And let's do switch costumes too. Let's have a look at the costumes so I can see what they are. We've got arms half up, arms down. Oh, we want the head one, don't we? So we want head left and head right. Yeah, let's do head left and head right. So in the code tab, I'm just going to switch costume to head left and then switch costume to head right. And in between that, actually, I'll do switch costume to at rest. So she goes back to like her head in the normal place. All right, so we've got that, and now we're going to make her wait in between the head rolls. Okay, so at the moment, as before, I'll tell you what we'll do. Just yeah, so we've got to breathe in, we've got to breathe out, and then we've got this that's happening very, very quickly, and you see it just ends up switching to just head right at the end because we want some weights in between. Okay, so let's go and create a new variable. In fact, let's just get our weights in first. So let's just have a wait 1 second, wait 1 second, and wait 1 second at the bottom there. I'm just going to scroll down so you can see that properly. And then with the repetitions of 1, she's going to do the quick breathing in, breathe out, and then the head roll back to the center, head roll back to the center. Okay then. So now we've got her waiting, but we might want to change the number of waits. Okay, that the amount of time that Nadia is going to wait in between that, because we want to do quite quick sort of neck rolls like this, or we want to do really slow neck rolls like this. So let's create a new variable. And let's call it speed. So I'm going to make a variable for all sprites. I'm just going to call it speed. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the amount of time she waits in here. I'm going to basically do 1 divided by the speed. Okay. So let's go into operators and get my divisor. There we go. Put that in here. Put that in here and put it in here. And then we're going to say wait 1 divided by 1 divided by 1, and then we can put in our speed variable. Speed, and speed. So let's set speed to 1 to start off with. Okay, so I'm just going to change here. I'm going to take this set and then speed. I'm going to make that 1. Okay, and 1 divided by 1 is 1, so when she gets to the head rolling exercises, she should just wait 1 second. What's happened here? So she definitely did the head left and then she stops. Let's just try that again. Oh, I didn't click the set speed, so it was still, if you can see up here at the top it says speed, it's still at 0. So let's click that, and now speed changes to 1, and now let's have a look at what happens. So she's going to do breathe in, she's going to do her breathe out, and then 1 second on each of those head rolls, and I could change speed. Then I could have speed of say 5, and then again she'll do this much faster this time. 1 divided by 5 is 0.2, so it'll only be 0.2 seconds in between her head rolls. 1, 2, and back, and there we go. Right, I want a way to control that speed in the same way I've done this. Okay, I want the same thing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change where these start. Let's move them up here. Let's click that stop. Let's move them up here. There we go. And then I'm going to change this go to on these sprites here. So for the up sprite, we want to move it to go to where it is at the moment. Okay, and the same for the down sprite. Let's go to where it is at the moment. And now when I click the green flag, they should be in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate these sprites. So I'm just going to right click and duplicate, right click and duplicate. I'm going to move the up one here and the down one here. And I'm going to take my speed variable and I'm just going to put that in between the two of them there. That's good. And then I need to change these positions here as well, because otherwise when I click that green flag they're going to jump to the same position. So again, I can just pull that out and it will take its current position, and then take that out and use its current position. Okay, good. And now all I need to do is, instead of this being change repetitions by, I'm just going to change that to change speed by, and this one to change speed by. So now I've got a way of controlling the speed. Okay, so I can up the speed and I can decrease the speed, and then we need to probably just change those messages here. So for the up one, we don't want to say maximum repetitions is 5, we want to say maximum speed is 5. There we go. And then on the down one, we'll say minimum speed is 1. Okay, so now we've got a way of controlling our speed and our repetitions. All right then, so let's have a look at what else we can get our character to do. So rather than just have her doing the exercises, we can also get her to call out what she's doing, so we can get her to actually speak and say what it is that she's doing in the exercise. So let's add that in now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to the bottom here to where this little icon is down here, and this allows me to add various different libraries or modules to Scratch. So these are called extensions. So I'm going to take this text to speech extension here. Okay, and then I get 3 new blocks. All right, so the first one is to set a voice. Okay, that's the first one I want. So I'll do that up underneath where the green flags are clicked. So I'm going to set voice to alto. That would be fine. We might want to set the language. Okay, I think it's going to default to English, but I'll just put that set language to English in. But if you're in another locale and you wanted to do a different language, you can choose a different language for them to speak in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have her speak just before she performs each of these exercises. So we can go to our text to speech and I can say here, instead of say hello, I'll say roll your head left, and then we'll go roll your head middle, And we'll finish off with roll your head right. And let's see what that sounds like. Okay, so we'll keep our repetitions. We'll put our repetitions down to 1 for the purposes of testing. Speed's at 3, that's fine. Let's have a look at what this does now. Okay, breathe in.
Roll your head left. Roll your head to the middle. Roll your head right.
There we go. Okay, so we have successfully created that, and we've got our head rolling exercises. The next thing I'd do if I was going to carry on with this is I'd start using the stretching exercises. So I do a very similar thing with this, just very, very similar to what I've done in this repeat here. Okay, but instead of changing it to the head rolling, I would use these stretching ones. So getting the arms up, getting the arms down, arms out to the side, wrists up, and arms out with wrists down. And you could cycle through various different arm stretches in your code in just the same way you've done with your rolling the head, rolling the right. And you could have a little text in there as well to get the Nadia to speak out. You can change your voice if you want. So we could, instead of having an alto, we could let's go for tenor. Let's have a look, sound what tenor sounds like. Breathe in, breathe out.
Roll your head left.
No, that's not
Roll your head to the middle. Roll your head right.
I definitely prefer alto for that one. Okay, so that is the sit and stretch. You could obviously add in more costumes if you wanted to and play around with this in lots and lots of different ways. Have a think about changing the speeds and the repetitions, different exercises that Nadia could do. Maybe you could combine some exercises so she has to breathe in while she's stretching her arms up and breathe out while she's stretching her arms down. And you could do all those kinds of extra little bits to make your project into a really good little regime of stretching and relaxing and breathing. That's fantastic. Right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. So let's go back over here. So that's it for this week, everyone. I'm glad you could join us. If you would like to go to this project again, I'll just remind you it's rpf.io/dm hyphen relax hyphen stretch. If you've created something and you want to share it with us, if you've made your own project and you want to share it with us, then please go to rpf.io/home and share your project with us. We can do that really easily. If you go to your project page and you're signed into Scratch, you'll be able to share a link to your projects with us. And we love seeing all your work, so we love seeing everything you've done. Don't forget our live stream this Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. BST. And if you're interested in coming onto the live stream and doing some coding with Mr. C, then again, you can get in touch with us at rpf.io/home. Leave a little message in there when you share your project and just say, I'd really like to come on the live stream and do some code with Mr. C. That'd be absolutely fantastic. All right then, I'm going to leave you all now, so I shall see you all in a couple more weeks' time, and that is it for me today, guys. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.